Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 8th episode of our gaming news podcast, the PackCast. Our hosts, as always, are Cool Trader Camillo, the Janebo, Dan from the Tea Lounge, and myself, Phil Fantastic. And with our powers combined, we are not Captain Planet, we are the Game Pack. It's a slow news week because we just came out of E3. We had two back-to-back killer extravaganza episodes for E3. I think our Nintendo Square Enix episode was like 2.5 hours long, and we didn't disagree about anything, which was wonderful.
Not at all.
Crazy.
Not even once. It was just a big agreement fest.
We're the same person.
Yep. So let's get into the news today. The first story is Harry Potter Wizards Unite. It's a new mobile game from Niantic, the people who brought you Pokemon Go. It's pretty cool. I've had the chance to play it a little bit. So it's essentially you are fighting off confoundables instead of catching Pokemon. So you'll find either like an item or usually a character from the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I think the first one is always Hagrid. So Hagrid is like trapped in a spider web, and then you do a little motion on the screen to cast a certain spell, and then that spell will free Hagrid. Hagrid will return to the wizarding world, and you have protected the wizarding world from being exposed to the muggles. And it's cool. I was enjoying it for the amount that I've played. The map seems a little bit more like has a better art style, I think, than the Pokemon map. I think the Pokemon map sort of just looks like Google Maps reskinned teal, and the Wizarding World map is like looks sort of hand drawn and it's like dark. I was really enjoying it. For those who... Oh, and it has voice acting. I wanted to mention that. It actually has real voice acting. We didn't find out if Daniel Radcliffe's actually in it, but I can pretty much guarantee that he's not. But as voice acting, Pokemon Go does not, which I thought
they used his likeness, though.
They did. So he got paid for that. Faux show. I'm sure there's something in his contract. We were talking about this a couple episodes ago about how... thick the Hollywood contracts must be in order for like their likenesses to continue on in like video games or other things like that, and how they probably get paid out the booty for that.
I think they all are. Actually, all of them, like Hermione and Ron, I think are also in it.
Ooh, interesting.
Like, yes, their likeness to the movies adaptations.
The likeness that appears at the very end of the last movie, because this takes place.
Boy.
This takes place in the future. When...
Wait, is it that far? Is it like the epilogue of the last one?
Yeah, so he's like they're older.
So they already have. Can we spoil the movie?
Yes,
or the books or whatever.
Yes.
So they already have kids and are married and stuff like that.
Yep. Those are the characters you're interacting with, or the adult versions of Harry Potter. And
all I saw a Cursed Child, the play. Broadway play, and that's based after the events of all the books, and the kids are now at Hogwarts, so I just don't know where this lies in with it.
In the official timeline?
Yeah.
I don't know. J.K. Rowling keeps changing things.
She just wants to get more money, man.
Yeah. But it's cool. Cam, you booted it up. What did you think about it for the seconds that you played it?
I thought it was cool. I think it's a little more technical than Pokemon Go. I feel like there were a lot more things going on with the game that I just need to learn, like what each of them do. I think I'm only like level 3 right now. I haven't played that much.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The spells are pretty fun to do. I was like fighting like one monster and like I wasn't getting it, and it told me like, oh, you have to do the spell faster. And I thought I had to do it like more correctly, like trace it better. But no, it was like you have to do it faster. So yeah.
So how you know how you have to have Pokeballs to catch a Pokemon in Pokemon Go?
How do they get you?
Yeah, how do they get you?
How do they make you buy more stuff?
Yeah, how do they make you give them money?
You need spell energy.
And can you get that from Pokestops?
I actually have been to like they're called fortresses.
Oh, it's a fortress. I got to a greenhouse.
Yeah, I think the greenhouse is kind of like the Pokestop. Because there's a one Pokestop near me, and it's the same thing for the greenhouse.
I think the fortresses are like gyms.
Gyms?
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, so some figures, because I love stats. So I know you guys love hearing stats.
As long as they're presented on grids.
Here's some grid-based stats for you guys. It earned one. Why did you phrase this so strangely? It earned $1.7 million less than Pokemon Go did.
That's how it was phrased in the article.
Hours. Okay. So I guess it had like 300,000 downloads, and then how many did Pokemon have?
It was like 400,000 downloads, and Pokemon had like 7.5 million. Downloads or something.
If that gives you an idea of the initial popularity of this game, it could grow. You don't know, but I don't think. And I think we are. And I love speaking for all four of us because I'm usually wrong. I think we're all in agreement that this will never overtake Pokemon Go in popularity or downloads or money made.
No, because I don't think it's this. Because like Pokemon Go made like so many people's like reality of playing Pokemon in the real world a thing. Whereas like I don't think people had the dream of playing Harry Potter in the real world. Kind of, it's not the same thing.
I do. I have a wand.
I have a wand too.
Whoops.
Is that your wand?
Yeah, it was my wand.
I could go and find a wand outside under a tree at any moment that I would want.
Would it have unicorn hair in it?
Yeah, that's true. You can't, or dragon or dragon heartstring.
To be fair, yours don't either.
It's also
you don't know.
The media for the franchises are different. Like Pokemon was like already a video game, and this is like a mobile game. I don't think a lot of people who are super into Harry Potter like play mobile games or like will be into something like this.
Yeah,
I mean Harry Potter is a phenomenon too, though.
It is,
but it's not. It's not like the media doesn't like. It's not the same. Like you can't mix and match as well.
Plus, I want to just piggyback / repeat the same point that Cam already made. When you played Pokemon, you wanted to go outside and catch them for real.
Yeah.
Like when you were 10, I wanted to do that so badly. I remember I would take my canoe out on my boat, on my lake, and we would like go, and I would like be like, oh my gosh, what was that? Was that a Pikachu? Is that a Pikachu over there? I just wanted there to be Pokemon in the real wilds.
I mean, I feel like if this came out like alongside of Pokemon Go back, 2 years ago,
it's been in like the works for a long time. Because I remember when Pokemon Go came out, like they had said they were working on this game. There were a bunch of memes about like people were pushing around because like the people who were like, oh, Pokemon's dumb, it's for babies. Like I saw these memes that were like, Pokemon Go, move over for Harry Potter Go. I'm like, that's never really going to overtake this. You serious?
I mean, I think if they would have came out coinciding, they would have both been popular at the time. Because like Pokemon Go was really popular really fast. And I'm assuming that, the downloads that Harry Potter Wizards Unite got are similar to what Pokemon Go gets now. Like I don't think it's not as big of a phenomenon that it was 2 years ago.
But it already has the install base.
Yeah.
Of like so many downloads.
But how many people are still playing it though? That's the
but
thing.
you're talking about like new downloads. Like if there's already a bunch of people who already play it, like that's not really you're not comparing them correctly.
And they already got all the super fans. Like the super fans already have it.
I feel like if they came out at the same time, Pokemon Go would have completely overshadowed the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
I'm of that mind as well. There's no way would I be running around trying to just get confundables. Like Harry Potter's fun because it's like it's a new take on that style of gameplay, so it's like a fun little refresh. And
it's kind of like it's a Harry Potter skin on Pokemon Go or something.
So it's cool, but like Pokemon Go
I feel like a majority of people who are playing this are playing this because, oh, they made Pokemon Go, so this one must be good too. Like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. All right, well, I'm going to play it a little bit. I'm not going to give up. I think I'm also level 3. I'm going to play and see. I'm going to figure out. I think you can get on teams. I'd like to learn the game a little bit more before I totally give up. Plus, I do live in an area where it's always really populated with greenhouses and fortresses and confundables and stuff like that. So I will have an easier time leveling up to figure out if this game is even worth playing. So I don't know. I guess I can share my thoughts maybe next week as to how the first week of my Harry Potter experience went. Does anybody else have any closing thoughts on Harry Potter before we move on?
I think it's fun.
No. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. It's cool. And the graphics are kind of good, actually. They're pretty good representations of the characters from the movie. And
I actually thought. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying the models are simple, but they're not too simple.
I actually thought, and I saw some people say this on Twitter too, that they would do some sort of Pokemon Go event while this game is coming out, because they did a similar thing for the other game that Niantic made, Ingress. They had some event in Ingress, and to celebrate that, they released Shiny Ponyta and Shiny Cubone. I don't know what they relate to in the game, but the two sides of it were, yeah, that would be cool to promote their new game, but then also if we're promoting something in Pokemon Go, why would I go play Harry
it would
Potter?
Have to be a promotion in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
A shiny Hagrid.
I can totally see this become a trend where companies just take an intellectual property and turn it into a Go game. I can see like when the new Sonic movie comes out, Sonic Go, where you go around rescuing the creatures from the robots that encase them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I like that idea. All right, Sonic team, you owe Dan $10. Okay. All right, next up is everyone's favorite game developer, EA Games. And they're in the news again because they're doing bad stuff, like always. So the quote that has been taking the internet by storm is, they're not loot boxes, they are surprise mechanics, and they are quite ethical. So Kerry Hopkins, EA's VP of Legal and Government Affairs, insists that the company's randomized purchases aren't loot boxes, but rather surprise mechanics. In an oral evidence session with the UK Parliament's Digital, Cultural, Media and Sports Committee, Hopkins compares the mechanics to surprise toys, which have been around for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or Hatchimals or the LOL surprises. So you guys, they also have those boxes that you can go to GameStop and you can get collectible figures of, I think Nintendo has them too, where you can open them up and you're like, ooh,
packs.
Yeah, blind packs. Am I going to get Mario today or am I going to get Toad? So that's what he's comparing them to. If you guys don't know, it's basically you're buying a toy, you don't know which toy it is, you open it up and that's the surprise. Okay, so in response to questions from Scottish National Party MP, I'm not sure what that stands for, Brendan O'Hara, so Hopkins says, we do think the way that we have implemented these kinds of mechanics, and he says, FIFA, of course, is our big one. Our FIFA Ultimate Team with their packs is actually quite ethical and quite fun, quite enjoyable to people. So he's kind of comparing those to if you go buy a pack of baseball cards. That's sort of what FIFA Ultimate Team is like. When you buy a pack, you open it up and then you get a bunch of cards, which are players, and sometimes those players are really good and sometimes they totally stink. But it's a total gamble. So he says, we do agree with the UK Gambling Commission, the Australian Gambling Commission, and many other gambling commissions that they aren't gambling, and we also disagree that there's evidence that shows it leads to gambling. Instead, we think it's like many other products that people enjoy in a healthy way and like the element of surprise. Now, basically, this is the defense that loot boxes aren't gambling. And I think that's what I'll start the conversation with, guys. I will pose the question to all three of you. Do you think loot boxes are gambling? Dan?
I think that if there's a monetary value associated with the surprise that you'll be getting, then that kind of leans more toward gambling because you could potentially make more money back than you're putting in. And that's kind of the definition of gambling.
Sure.
Putting in money for the potential for more money or the potential of losing the money that you put in. But is that really the intent? Is the intent to make money on these or pay to get a collectible that you'll keep and have fun with? That's also an important distinction to make because no one goes to a gambling center. What's the casino? That's the word. Yeah. No one goes to a casino to put their money into the slots machine for collectibles that they'll take home and enjoy after the fact.
Well, I mean, the money is a collectible.
Right, but the money is...
It's not a Darth Vader skin.
Right, exactly. So there are a couple of different important distinctions to keep in mind there. And depending... I think depending on who is playing and how they're playing it, it could be gambling, but most people, it probably wouldn't necessarily be gambling, but I could see how it totally could be for some.
Okay. All right. Same question. Cam, go.
I have a question first. What do they mean by randomized purchases?
Wait, did it say that in my big giant spiel?
Yeah.
So it's like if you open a pack of cards, you get like
but
5
cards. That the company's
like, are we talking about
like,
oh, this is like a skin you can buy, but you don't know which one you're going to get?
Yeah.
Like
no,
that?
there's the randomized purchases. They're essentially loot boxes.
Okay, so I don't think loot boxes are gambling because wouldn't a loot box, every single loot box have the same value? It's just different items in it.
Well, no, because it doesn't have the same in-game value. Like you could buy a pack. So if you're going by the thing you're talking about with the FIFA thing,
yeah, but
if you
loot
buy
boxes are like Are you talking about physical loot boxes?
No. I'm talking about digitally. If you buy a FIFA Ultimate Team pack digitally for like, I don't know what they cost, like maybe $5 or something.
Yeah.
And then you could either get like the best professional player in the world with really good stats and like a couple other guys, or you could just get total nothingness. So then that is where people say, well, then they're inclined to put the $5 back in again and try to get that really good player because it's randomized.
Okay.
That's same with like baseball cards.
I don't see the problem with it really. This is like in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the mobile game, you can buy these like packs of medals. You can use the in-game currency. You get like some of it through the game, but you can actually buy the game currency. And there are these like banners you can like pull from. So like you buy these banners and they have like, I don't know, 8 medals on them. And some of them are really good and some of them are really like crappy. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Oh, I really want to get the good one, so I'll keep pulling on this banner to try to get the good one.
Yeah, it's the gacha.
I mean, at that point, it's just like do you have self-control kind of thing. I don't think we should be blaming the company for doing that.
All right, same question. Is it gambling, John?
I don't think it's gambling. You're getting something of value for the money you're giving it. And it doesn't matter if it's like an epic skin or like a common skin. The value is whatever you give.
Yeah, you get something.
Yeah, you get something of value. When you gamble,
it's not resellable, whatever you're pulling or whatever.
Yeah, when you gamble, you could lose all your money. You're not losing. You're gaining something of value back for the value you give to them. I mean, I think loot boxes are skeezy. Like I think they're gross.
I agree.
But they have a really bad stigma about them right now too. Because like every single game has loot boxes, even ones that don't make you pay real money. Like you still get a loot box. It's like, why don't you just let me unlock these things?
I feel like the first time I experienced the loot box was with Overwatch, and I never paid for them. I just got them through playing, and every time I got a loot, I was just like excited. Yeah,
you would get one for each level that you leveled up. But like,
so yeah, I would just like work for it and then get my loot box and then open it and be like, oh, did I get the skin I wanted? No, all right, guess I don't really care. But like, I guess I wasn't that like invested in like getting a very particular skin or like a tag or whatever. But
I mean,
like
they definitely have, like Cam was saying about the banners, like they run promotions to get
like they're timed. Like they'll be like, oh, for this week you can pull like these specific ones. So you got to pull up, like if you really want this one, you got to pull up before like this date ends, kind of thing.
A lot of mobile games do that.
I was thinking, a couple of things. If they changed it could become gambling. Where like, if the only way to obtain these things are by paying, and you can't get it any way else, and if some of the boxes are completely empty. Yeah, then I would classify it as gambling. I don't think you have to pay into it, and you might get nothing back. Yeah, then it could be gambling.
You could make the argument though that sometimes the stuff that you get it might as well be empty.
Yeah, but it's not.
Right.
Like you're just complaining.
But it's not
point.
Exactly.
Or if you get duplicates, I feel like it's like why? Yeah, but then why do they give you duplicates?
You can usually trade duplicates in for like whatever the currency is.
For like, you know, a tenth of the price.
Yeah, you still get something. I'll just say I don't think it's gambling for the same reasons you guys said it's not gambling.
There's no danger of getting nothing for what you're paying.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the argument is like these countries are starting to pass laws on these loot boxes are considered gambling. But like if you have a credit card, that means that you are of age to gamble,
or that your parents had put really
it. But that's still not like maybe it's not allow your kids to have access to your credit card.
Yeah, be a better parent. Step one.
How you only have to be 18 to gamble, right? I keep forgetting if it's 21 or 18.
In most states and territories. I don't know. Yeah. I could see somewhere maybe it might be 21. But
I think some states is 21.
I think probably 18.
I think I bought a scratch-off ticket when I was 18, so...
Yeah. I mean, everywhere I've ever lived, it's been 18. Yeah. And I'll be in everywhere, man.
I think loot boxes are lame, though. Like, I don't think they're... I wish they would go away.
I think they're a cool addition for if you're passively getting currency just by playing, and then you get a bonus loot box. That's cool. Yeah,
it's like a surprise.
I think that like hiding things behind loot boxes and stuff like that, or having loot box exclusive things, is bad. But yeah, I don't think it's gambling, and I think that's really the whole point of that. I know the headline of that is really sensational. To say, what was the headline? They're not loot boxes, they're surprise mechanics, because people just really laid into them for saying that, because like that's like, come on, man. Like that's ridiculous lawyery. That's like the most lawyery thing you can say in response to that. And then to go on to say, and they are quite ethical, to like really hammer your point home. Like, yeah, like you're going to get some flack for that. The internet is going to take you to town for that, but
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
What's that?
Because I wonder if they did that on purpose, because you could totally say something that you know will be sensational, because you know people would click on it, and honestly, it's very rare to find bad publicity.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Is good. Well, there is some.
Well, there might be a slight hiccup right there for technical reasons. But I don't know. I'd say that I agree that it's shady, but I don't think it's gambling, and I think that they, shouldn't be banned from games. So I think I want to close the discussion with, do you think loot boxes should be banned from games, or do you think they should be left in games as they are? And we'll do the same order. Dan, you can go first.
Loot boxes are loot boxes. I don't think they're going anywhere. I'm not really interested in paying real world money for digital goods within a video game, but that's just me. If people like doing that, go for it, I guess.
And then I think we went to Cam.
I don't think it's gambling. I think they're a fun thing to do if you're using like your in-game currency. If you're not really using real world money. I will say,
don't think they should go anywhere?
No, but I kind of feel like hatching eggs in Pokemon Go is kind of similar, because like you never know what you're gonna get, but you have to keep paying for incubators. And I've been recently like kind of into this mood, like I want something good, so I just keep like whenever I run at incubators, just keep buying and buying more. So I'm just like, should I be spending money on this?
Can you get incubators from Pokestops?
No, unless they're doing an event.
Oh,
they did one in like the Christmas event. They did like you can get one use incubator a day from a Pokestop, but like that was the last time they did that.
Interesting. All right, John, what do you think? Should loot boxes stay in video games? Are they bad, or what do you think?
Well, I think they're actually going away. We have a story later, and then also I think like a lot of the stories at E3, they're like, our game's going to be full when it's released. There's not going to be any loot boxes. If there is cosmetic stuff, you're going to know what you're buying. So I think loot boxes are going away, and it's kind of nice to see.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's move on to our next story. An amazing game was made. It was a game called Mario Royale. It was a fan-made game in the style of the NES Super Mario Bros. Game. Not just in the style of. Literally levels pulled from the NES Super Mario Bros. Game. And about 100 people would be dropped into one of those stages. They would start at the beginning of the level, and then 100 people would race to the end to place first, second, and third in the Battle Royale. And I think it's a crazy idea. And the major news was that this existed, but since it has come out, actually, Nintendo smacked them with it. What is it called? It's called the DMCA?
It's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is the law.
And they do a DMCA takedown?
Yes.
So they did a DMCA takedown on it, and they are redoing it, reskinning it. I'm not sure if they're changing up the levels, because I'm sure those are probably copyrighted in some way. And it is now called DMCA Royale, and you can find it, and it's still playable with the same physics and stuff like that. And I think it is a super cool idea, but I think John was itching to say some stuff, so I'm going to throw it straight to him.
Oh, so I think it took him like 2 days to shut it down.
Yeah, really fast.
I'm pretty sure it was real quick. But Nintendo likes shutting down these fan-made things, which I get it. I mean, these people are benefiting off of their property. They might not, I don't know if they're making money off of it. There was a YouTube video made, so he could have monetized that.
Yeah.
So I understand why they would shut it down. But instead of shutting it down completely, they should just take it over. You know, just make it their own. Like they did it. Well, I guess they did a Metroid 2
Samus
remake.
Returns.
Yeah, the Samus Returns. So the AS or AM2R or whatever.
I don't. If they were to take it over, I don't think they would like announce that or like say that like so fast. Maybe like it just goes into their project folder or something.
Yeah, exactly. It comes out 6 months from now, and everyone's like, "Oh, I see what you did there."
I like it. I would like that idea. I would like a Mario Battle Royale.
I mean, we kind of got one in Super Mario Maker. Is that not what that is?
Yeah, that's
only
a Battle
four.
Royale.
It's only like 4 people though.
I mean, it's utter chaos with 100.
Yeah.
Now, is everybody doing the jumps at the same time?
Everybody interacts with the environment and not necessarily with each other. The fireballs don't affect players. Star affects other players, so you can kill people with Star. If one person breaks a block, it breaks a block for everybody. If the piranha plants, they used to be like you could stand next to them and they wouldn't go up. They're on a timer. So like those, like there's like a couple things that are different. Like the environment kind of changed up a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool, and I wanted to play it while it was still the Super Mario skin, but now it's got some weird like small boy. I'm sure we have thrown up some footage of what it looks like now, and it's probably by the time this thing's edited, it might even look different again. No. They keep changing it to like make it better. So like by the time this uploads, it probably will look different than what I'm describing to you now. But it's basically just a ripoff. Because didn't they take down Flappy Bird? I know I don't want to get too off topic, but they took down
No, I don't think they took that down. I think the creator took it down.
Yeah. Yeah, the creator was like, I didn't want to create this game that was going to infuriate millions, and so he took it down. I think that's what he said. Something like that.
Cool.
So regarding
yes,
DMCA Royale, there are a couple of ways I think this could potentially go. We have seen similar things in the past from different companies, such as Sonic Mania. A fan created an engine to mimic the original Sonic games, and then eventually that person was hired on to create an official game through Sega. Sonic Mania that became, and that was Christian Whitehead, and yeah, it was a huge success. So I don't know if Nintendo's going to reach out to these people and bring them on like Sega did with Christian Whitehead. If they don't, it could go another way, such as the way of Freedom Planet. There was a game, Freedom Planet, that started also as a Sonic fan game that eventually they reskinned, changed up all the characters to get rid of all the intellectual property and rebranded to its own game. And that was, the starts from that also was a Sonic fan game that they just turned completely into a new IP, which is really cool because it's, from what I've seen, I haven't played it yet. I really want to, but it looks like a pretty cool game. So that's another way they could go with it.
It must be pretty successful because they made a sequel.
Yeah. From what I understand, it's really well received. Cool. So either way, I could see it going either way. Most likely, I think it's going to remain independent and probably get a reskin and be released as something else entirely. Which I hope it doesn't die. I would really want to play like a final version of it once all the legal issues are worked out. I think it would be really cool to jump in and play something like that. It looks like a really cool concept.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You've said all the things that I want to say, so does somebody else want to step in?
Nice.
No?
I do think it's kind of like... I don't remember if we said this already, but yeah, it's kind of like we kind of already have this in Super Mario Maker 2. So...
a little bit.
I don't... like...
Oh.
Yeah, like...
I thought of...
what?
Oh, so go ahead. I have another.
No. I think it's a cool idea. So maybe they might do something with it later down the line. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna do something immediately.
Or maybe they'll increase the number of players in Super Mario Maker from 4 to 100.
That would just be chaos.
And we could get 100 of our friends.
Yeah,
we can now.
Because we complained. So let's all complain about this. So we get it in Mario Maker.
Yeah, right. This is a little bit more touchy.
This kind of reminds me, not too distant past, there was a Mario 64 hack that came about that would allow multiplayer. Everyone
Mario
was just
64 online.
Yes, Mario 64 online. Yep, it reminds me of that, where everyone is just free for all at the same time. But I think it wasn't quite as interactive. I don't think that the things that you did in the game would affect it for other players, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Could you jump off of people in that one and stuff? And
I don't think so. I think you would just run right through the people. Okay. So it was just more of a everyone race at the same time, the same game kind of thing.
Yeah,
on screen all together.
That wasn't really built into the engine for them to do that. So
yeah,
gotcha. Well, this is your warning, guys. DMC Royale, Nintendo could still be after them. Go to, I think it's DMCARoyale.com. And play the game for yourself. You can play with a controller. You should do it.
Or if you don't want to support it, then that's your prerogative as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, you could be that guy.
I'm not saying one way or another.
Guys, yes, do whatever you want. We do not hold a position here at the Game Pack as to whether or not you should play that game or not play that game.
We are Switzerland.
We are not.
We sit on.
We are
fence.
not legally. We are not legally at fault if you do anything past what you should be doing for your actions.
There you go. Dan's got it. Okay.
Disclaimer.
All right. And on that note, we'll move on. All right, we are going to rattle through a few stories here real quickly, because they're not huge stories like we said at the beginning of the podcast. These aren't going to be massive stories because we're coming out of E3. The news has died down. We're all still hyped about Breath of the Wild 2, except for maybe John, because he's not hyped about anything. So quickly, I want to talk about
games.
we all four of us love grid-based games. The head of Crystal Dynamics spoke on the new adventure game. He said that we want somebody to be able to go buy a disc and never have to go online. And this is just the age-old argument that we have here on the PackCast almost every week about digital versus physical. And having
I think this has to do with like
going online and day one patches and all that. Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with the digital versus
I think it does
physical.
A little bit. I think it does a little bit.
You still have to install the game.
Yeah,
well, but also like if you buy a digital, let's say you preloaded digital and the patch doesn't come out till the day it comes out, like you still have to.
But you would have to go online to get the patch,
right?
So
I guess the one point I was trying to make was that like if you live in the sticks and that game is going to be like 80 gigs. You can go to the store, buy it, and install it, and it takes a lot. It's way less time to just install off a disc than it is to download off a DSL collection.
But a patch is never required to play offline. Patch is just like stuff they're fixing, like once the game comes out.
Yeah. True. I typically like to wait before I play a big AAA title game because they can make changes, and if I can find the disc that is the complete edition, then all the better. Like I've got the Witcher 3 complete edition, I've got the Horizon Zero Dawn complete edition. Yeah. So I don't have to go online. Thumbs up for me.
That's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's great that they're saying that you can just go to the store and buy a disc and play it. Like that's what I want. That's my dream.
Yep.
Is to be able to just do that.
And it makes used game shopping down the road so much better. Like if everything goes digital, used game shops are going to go extinct.
And nobody wants that.
Eventually the new games
are though.
Retro stores
20 years from now, the new games today will be the old games.
How many used game stores do you know of? There's like not many. There's not many.
There was a lot when I went to go visit Bill.
I think Amazon will still be relevant, and you can get used games off of there. But like,
but for like the older, like
digital.
There's not going to be a digital version for like every old game ever.
So I just buy them all at the same time. Like right now, when they come out, just buy them all now when they come out.
Anyways. Buy every game in existence as they come out. Yes, a wonderful solution for Jeff Bezos.
So that was just a quick story that we wanted to talk about because no developer is really doing that. No one is doing that. So I just thought that was cool to bring up. Next, I want to move on to this links into the loot box story a little bit that we were talking about earlier. Gears of War 5 on the Xbox One and PC will not have a season pass, will have 0 loot boxes, and all the DLC maps and extra content will be free, which is cool. So I think that's another reason to get Game Pass Ultimate, because sometimes you get Game Pass and then you get the base game, but then you can also buy the DLC separate. I think this is great for Game Pass if they start doing this with all their games, where you get the game, but you also get everything. Like, thank you. Or maybe I think it would be cool. It might be a good business decision if you got season passes if you had Ultimate Game Pass.
Yeah, Ultimate. I think they're gonna make Ultimate be like their big selling point, and they're gonna add like different features that regular Game Pass doesn't have. So,
but yeah, that's I think something that could be down the line. I don't know. That was just something my little brain thought of. But I think it's cool, and this is another company stepping forward and saying no loot boxes. And the Avengers, the game we just talked about, also said no loot boxes. So, John was saying when we were talking about the loot boxes story, that they are maybe going away.
I take no loot boxes with a grain of salt when a company says that, because there have been companies that say, we're not going to do this. And then they come out with something eerily similar and say, this isn't this, this is this other thing.
These are card packs. They're not loot boxes.
I think they said they will have cosmetic items, but you're going to know what you're buying.
In Gears?
In Gears, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they'll probably have weapon skins and character skins.
The weapon skins and character skins in Gears 4 are really cool.
I know. They are worth the money.
They are super cool. I will give them credit. They put a lot of work into those.
Yeah. I've been really playing that game again. Gears 4 is an amazing game.
It's super good.
I can't wait for Gears 5.
Sweet. All right. Well, there's not really much else to say. That's pretty much just a headline thing, and we already sort of talked about the no loot boxes thing. Unless anybody else wanted to jump in? Cam? Okay. I was like, I gotta move on. Okay, so, and the next story, very quickly, is essentially just another headline. Cyberpunk 2077 confirms Keanu Reeves is an actual key character in the game and not just a cameo. He is a major part of the game, and that just is another reason why, and I've been having this conversation offline with some of my friends, that Keanu Reeves is going to get Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
Yeah, he's in everything this year.
He's in everything this year.
He's in Toy Story 4.
Yep. He's in Toy Story 4.
He's in like a movie on Netflix.
Yeah, he's in that rom-com on Netflix. He's in Cyberpunk 2077.
He came out on E3 stage. Man.
Yeah.
Guy's everywhere.
He's everywhere, and it's awesome. And I'm excited about that because
there's that John Wick thing.
Oh boy,
he's in Fortnite. He's John Wick from Fortnite.
Oh yeah, he is in Fortnite as John Wick. And there was the knockoff character too.
Oh yeah, he's the knockoff John Wick and the real John Wick in Fortnite.
Yeah, what was the knockoff called, Joe?
The Reaper.
The Reaper. That's a pretty lame name. All right. Well, that was pretty much it. Keanu's having a good year, and he's going to be a major player in 2077. I'm super excited about that. The next story and last story for our rattling stories off very quickly is Epic Games is giving employees a fortnight off of work. If you guys don't know, Epic Games makes the game Fortnite, and a fortnight, it means 2 weeks. So they're giving their employees 2 weeks off of work. All of their employees at one time. They did say that there are, because when I was told this by Dan, this story, I immediately was like, that's not possible. What if there's like a giant DDoS attack? And he read the article for me and told me that there are measures in place, which means somebody's going to go back to work. What do you guys think about that?
What about
Dan?
I think it's really cool that company is going to actually give people time off, and all at the same time is kind of neat as well. So many game companies are really overworked, so yeah, they shouldn't be sweatshops. I'm not saying they are, but they shouldn't be, so it's good that they're not.
Yeah, especially when they're getting close to release date, they are putting in hours. They're not seeing their kids. It's rough. What else do you guys? I know, John, you want a fortnight off of work, don't you?
I do want a fortnight off of work, and I don't want to discount like the whole games. The game developers are overworked and stuff, but like every industry, every profession has crunch times. Like you're not gonna avoid it. So I don't know if this is a life lesson, but just be prepared to work a lot at some points in your life.
You're talking to the viewers?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you're trying to drop some dollars. Like, yeah, no, man.
I kind of wonder how this might play in with their vacation time. Like, I don't know Epic Games' policy about vacation time accrued and stuff.
They have to use all their accrued time for this.
That's
You're
what
forced
this
to
is.
take a vacation right now.
It's a forced vacation.
Forget that cruise you had scheduled at the end of the year.
Using your days.
I don't know. For what I understand, it's just an extra thing, but I don't know exactly.
What about like technical support? Like what happens when Johnny forgets his Epic password or something?
all right. So they're saying they're giving everybody off of work. There's no way.
They could have that outsourced.
There's no
they
way.
could have vendor companies that take care of stuff like that, potentially.
Possibly.
That could be a way around it.
There's
like
probably people on call. I bet there's people
like
on
I was
call.
a vendor at Microsoft. I wasn't employed by Microsoft, but I was at Microsoft working, and I didn't get the Microsoft perks. So they could have like kind of things like that in place potentially.
I'm
as
sure
well.
that's what they've got.
What if they're all freelancers, so not technically employees?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
the
how
12
movies work.
bigwigs are taking time off while the rest of the company.
Seriously, that's how movies work. That'd be insane.
They mentioned in the article like 1,000+ workers or something like that. Yeah,
they have 1,000 workers. They have 1,000 employees.
They've got to. That's a huge game.
That's one game, though.
It's
one
a service, though, dude. But they're building new stuff all the time.
Well, I guess they also have
the urge to look it up.
I guess they have the whole Epic Games store now too.
And then each season, it's like new, and they keep changing the world. And every week, they unlock new things. Like I feel like even during a season, the end of season, what are we on now? 8. The end of season 9. So the end of season 8 was different than the beginning of season 8. Like different stuff was happening. So they're like developing all that stuff.
I think the next 2 weeks are the summer of Fortnite or whatever. Like that event. So they have events all the time. They had a Marshmallow concert during the one.
Oh, I remember
at
that.
one time.
That was before my time with Minecraft. Or with Fortnite. Either way, interchangeable. All right, we got to move on from that story and move on to our next story, which is new Nintendo Switch models in production. So, allegedly, they're moving their manufacturing from China to somewhere else in Southeast Asia. Do we know where?
I don't think. I don't.
Did
think
the article not mention it?
Yeah.
All right, so the article didn't mention it. We definitely read the article, and the article didn't mention
No, I don't think it. I think it just said Southeast Asia.
Okay. So, and because of that, some information was leaked, and some potential new Switch models were announced. And I'm going to throw it straight over to Cam, because he is the most informed on this particular news story.
Yeah, so in this whole shifting of like production, we found out that there's going to be multiple Switch models. They're like, there's the mini one, and then there's like I think it was like a new SKU that it's like the same Switch but like updated. But then there's another one that is like a Pro model. So like we have like so we have something that's like replacing the current Switch and an improved model. So I don't know what each of these SKUs are.
All I'm hearing is I'm buying 3 new Switches soon.
Dude, all I'm hearing is definitely replacing my Switch, and I need to figure out how to like get all my save data off. I guess you could transfer, right? You can just do that now, even if
you have Nintendo Online, they have cloud save.
But not all
not
games
for every game.
Not for every game, yeah.
I think you could do the like pull, like if you log in with the same account, like if you pull out your SD card and put it in your computer, copy it to the new. Actually, you might just be able to take the SD card and put it in the new one if it's like the same account.
The save data is on the system. Usually, like for 3DS, when you got a new 3DS, you did a transfer.
Yeah, they moved everything to the SD card, and then you moved it.
Yeah, they'll have some type of system transfer.
Yeah.
Which I hope they kind of, if they have a Switch Mini and like a regular Switch model, I hope they allow you to have your data on both of them.
I don't see that happening. It's
yeah,
like with 2DS and 3DS, so like that wasn't.
Yeah, you couldn't do that on the 3DS.
I remember them dragging their feet when the Switch came out, and people were like, "How do we transfer save data?" And they were like, "There's no way right now." And eventually, when Online came out, they touted that as the solution. You get online and the Switch Online, and you can do your save data in the cloud. And I don't know exactly if there's another solution at this point. I haven't seen one specifically, so I don't know. They'd better figure that out. Though,
if you break your Switch, like you still lose the game data that doesn't support cloud saves. So
Potentially. You can send it in, and I have seen stories early on when people broke their Switch, they sent it in, and Nintendo was able to salvage and put it in the cloud. Yeah, before Nintendo Switch Online was a thing, they had this capability. And people were like, hey, if you could do that, then why can't we? So, Nintendo has ways. They're just not sharing them with the public entirely. Yeah. Necessarily, potentially.
Okay, so
allegedly,
I'm gonna do a poll. New Switch models. If there's new Switch models, do you buy one? Which one? Now we're saying there's a mini, and then say there's a Pro
coming out at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Do
Okay.
you buy? Which one do you buy? Do you buy neither, or do you buy both? Cam, go.
Are we saying there's a mini and then there's an updated at the same time?
Yes.
I'd probably wait on the mini. I'd probably keep my current Switch and get the updated Switch, so I could possibly do like dual hunt stuff with Sword and Shield.
Boy.
But the mini Switch, I feel like it's not gonna have output to a TV, so I don't think it'll be that useful for that. So if they come out at the same time, I'll get the updated one. But I don't know. I may get this mini one if like that's the only one that comes out.
All right, Dan.
I think I need to see more from each model to make a full decision. However,
just make a gut call.
However, Switch Pro, as long as it's beefy enough to make the purchase worthwhile, then perhaps I would get another one. I already have 2 Switches for 2 different purposes, but a Pro model might replace one of them potentially.
What if it increases? What if it cuts your speedrun time down?
Then I think the leaderboards would have to be entirely revamped for that.
Yeah, but you could.
I don't know what would be qualifying to speedruns.
I've actually in my little speedrunning that I've done when I was speedrunning this Kingdom Hearts game, there are different leaderboards for PS4s with a hard drive versus PS4s with an SSD because the game loads a lot faster.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
if there are different Switch models, they're definitely going to break it up into different categories and different leaderboards, so it would kind of be neither here nor there. You'd just get onto a different leaderboard.
Very cool. I would buy the Pro version, and I'd probably hang on to the one that I have. I'm not sure. Sometimes I get rid of the older model.
I used to do that, but I kind of wish I didn't do that. I'm going to hold on to all my consoles.
I did it with all my Xbox Ones. I definitely
keep at least one.
I got rid of my original Xbox One, and then when I got the S, I got rid of the S when I got the X. But
I've only really gotten rid of my handhelds. I got rid of my original 3DS and my DSi, but all my actual consoles I've kept.
Gotcha. John, you haven't gone.
Well, I'll definitely get the Pro version.
And
I probably end up getting the mini, but there wouldn't be a reason to get the mini.
You just want it.
Yeah, I just kind of want it.
Just to see what it's like.
Could be a collector's item down the road.
Yeah. And if they like to do special editions of different models, so if they have like a special edition of the mini, that'd be really cool.
With Triforces on it.
Yeah. They did a lot of special edition 2DSs.
So many.
How much do you think these are gonna cost? Like if we get a mini, how much do you think it would be?
The mini will cost like $199.
Ooh, 150 is a little low.
I think $199.
What does the Switch cost?
That's only $100 off.
Yeah, it's $100.
Maybe $169.
But I think they sell the Switch without the dock for like $200.
Oh really?
Yeah, in Japan.
I got a used Switch off of eBay, like a refurbished Switch with no dock off of eBay for like $150.
I'm gonna say I'll say like 170 or like 160.
It's probably gonna be $199.
They're gonna want it at like that 3DS price point because like they don't have something at that price point anymore.
$99.99.
Yeah, right.
They just sell 100 million units.
It's just the tablet, no Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like irremovable Joy-Cons. I don't think the Joy-Cons are gonna come off.
It'd be really cool if they found a way to like link 2 different Switches together to play DS games. Like make a little dock that puts
do that.
2.
Yeah, it'd be fun though.
There was like mock-ups of what it would look like because there were accessories.
I saw somebody they linked 2 Switches together and they were playing Breath of the Wild, where like the camera, like it was like you could see what you would normally play on the bottom screen but on the top screen you could see even more of a view because it was like a top screen.
Oh, crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that pretty much wraps up the new Switch models. It is a rumor/leak. It's true, right? It's true.
These have been rumored for like a year.
But we don't have any like
you
real
accept
details.
rumors as facts, you're going to have a bad time.
Can't be
Yeah,
disappointed.
supposedly.
All right, it's a rumor.
Supposedly, allegedly, there was a storefront in a different country than where I am, that I don't remember the country, that listed some accessories for some new models on their site, but then quickly removed them, allegedly. I don't know.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. There's another piece of information for you.
Nothing official from Nintendo at this point.
Okay. Our last story, we're going to move on, is also a Nintendo story. And it's that they opened a second retail store. The first is the Nintendo store in New York City, in Manhattan, right near 30 Rockefeller Plaza. And they're opening a second retail store in Tel Aviv, Israel, which we were all a little perplexed by because there's not even a Nintendo store in Japan. And so yeah, that was a little confusing. So, yeah, we are a little bit like, why this country? But, I mean, why not? I'm not going to hate on, like, wherever they choose to put a Nintendo store. That's cool for the people of Israel to have a Nintendo store. That's probably awesome. Like, I don't know how much support they get over there for all that kind of stuff. So, that's pretty rad to me. And that brings up the bigger question. Does this mean we'll see more Nintendo stores around the world? And
at least one more.
Yeah, so
I think they
yes,
will.
I'm saying yes, like without a doubt.
Because we're actually, well, they announced this during like the Pokemon conference thing where they announced all those mobile games. But they're opening a Pokemon Center in Singapore, and previously there was only one of those in Japan. So they are, I don't know, kind of
expanding their brick and mortar stuff. Because it's
should.
Like tourist,
yeah.
It's like touristy stuff. And Tel Aviv is a touristy place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to have a Nintendo store in a touristy place it's a smart move. So, yeah. I think we'll see more Nintendo stores to come. I really liked the Nintendo store in New York. I liked they had when I was there, they had a Game Boy exhibit where they had that one Game Boy that had like
went through war.
Yeah, that like went through war. They had that like game there and it was like functioning. I was like, that's awesome. Then also it was like at peak amiibo collecting, like right when the craze was like at its total peak. So they would tweet out, and I think they may still do this, but they would tweet out when they got new amiibos, and I would like hang out. I remember I was hanging out and I got a tweet. And I was on the train, and I was like, how did I even get this tweet? Because you never get cell reception underground. And I got a tweet from Nintendo, and they're like, come now if you want the amiibos. And I like just like sprinted. And luckily I wasn't too far away, and I actually got, I can't remember which amiibo I got. I think it might have been Samus. I can't remember it now. But I remember being excited at the time.
You know what's weird? That the amiibo that were really common back then, like Mario, like the Smash Brothers Mario and stuff, they're super rare.
Yeah. People bought them and kept them.
Yeah.
But I remember somebody's mom, there's like a little kid, and their mom was like, which one should I get my kid? And I was like on eBay trying to figure out which one was like worth the most amount of money. And I think it was... I think at the time it was like Paluenta, or however you say her name. Palutina. I was like Palawalawa. I don't know. I don't play Kid Icarus. I was like, get that weird girl. Like, she's worth a lot of money.
I feel that's a rare one, right? Palutena?
Yeah, I think so. It definitely was when the story was happening. But yeah, Nintendo stores. They're cool. And everybody likes them.
I don't...
Right, John?
Know if they still have this. I think they do. I think it's like a display that stays there. But they have this really cool like Zelda display where they have like all of like the special editions of the games, and they have like lots of Zelda memorabilia in it. It's really cool to see.
I think it rotates. I don't think that's always there.
Okay.
But that's awesome. That's super cool.
I'm not going to trigger anybody.
All right. I think that those stores are cool, and I enjoy them. And that pretty much sums it up. I wanted to real quick say that if you guys want Enter the Gungeon, which is an indie game by Devolver Digital, I have it on my Switch, and it's really fun. It's a roguelike game. It's a twin-stick shooter where everything is bullets, and it's super funny and super fun.
The enemies are bullets.
The enemies are bullets. The game is free on the Epic Game Store. So if you guys have an Epic Game Store account, go get your copy of Enter the Gungeon. It's definitely a cool game that's worth checking out. And as always, we like to end with a little bit of a personal touch by saying what we're playing. I will go first and say that I just bought Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and have gotten super back into Dragon Ball Z. I made a Crunchyroll account and paid for some Dragon Ball Z episodes that I didn't get. I stopped watching after the Cell Saga. I know this is getting a little off topic. I'll wrap up real fast. And there's 3 seasons I never saw of Dragon Ball Z, so I acquired those 3 seasons of Dragon Ball Z, and I'm watching them in addition to playing my Dragon Ball Z video game, and it's super duper fun. What are you guys playing, John?
I am playing Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which I did a first 15 on.
Ooh, and you made another video.
Oh, yes, and I did it might be out before this video, I don't know. But I did My Friend Pedro, which is another game published by Devolver Digital. And that game... you're talking about my my mashup?
Yeah, I was trying to plug your mashup on your own channel.
Well, now I guess I got to do the My Friend Pedro thing, huh? But yeah, I did a mashup between Sonic Team Racing, Crash Team Racing, Crash Team Racing, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I had fun making that. It was fun. It was like I tried to do one race for.
Yeah,
it was like
I liked watching that video because it's a cool video because it's like that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see all 3 of those games side by side. I want to see a race of that, and it was cool that you made that. You have your finger on the pulse of what people need. How about Cam? What are you playing?
I recently just got back into Ni no Kuni 2. I actually haven't played it since like October. But we were talking a lot about anime RPGs last week, so I felt like I wanted to play it. And I'm having a lot of fun. That game it looks really good.
I was watching you play on Twitch. It looked so fun. So great.
Speaking of anime RPGs, can I interject for a second?
Yes, you may.
So I just started walking on the treadmill for like an hour a day. And
are you gonna get to the point?
And JRPGs are like perfect for that. I was playing Final Fantasy VII while walking.
Very cool. And congratulations for you to getting on the treadmill. Sometimes the first step is the hardest step. Actually, you know what? It's not the first step. The first step's pretty easy. It's like the 1,000th step. So I encourage you to keep doing it, man. Good for you.
I'm drinking water now. Lost my Pepsi sponsorship.
Yeah, you lost your Pepsi pump sponsorship, so you go back to water. And last but not least,
wait, I'm not done.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Cam is still speaking.
I'm also playing Persona 5, and the other day I played for 2 hours, and I didn't fight a single enemy. I was just clicking through text, and I had a blast still.
What?
You just say sometimes it's fun to just live in the world and experience the characters and read the story and have fun.
2 hours, no.
How is that even possible? What is it?
I was talking to people.
Yeah, it's a big world.
The story.
You can walk around and do that for 2 hours, easy. All right, Mr. T Lounge.
Super Mario Odyssey. I'm working on Damageless, trying to get 880 moons still. Little things keep jumping in and killing my runs, but that's okay. I'll eventually get that. And I've also been enjoying some retro gaming on my new Retron 5.
Yeah.
With my old Game Boy collection. Oh, it's really nice to be able to like experience those on the big screen and stream them and hang out with people while streaming those.
And do all the do you have like modes on that, like pixel perfect and stuff? And
yeah, it's got a bunch of different modes, a bunch of different filters you can use to change how it looks. I like having it just like the base pixels that are there and everything. But yeah, it looks really good. And I have really not too many complaints. It's nice that it has the ability to use the original controllers for the original systems that it supports.
That's very
cool. It supports Genesis, Nintendo, NES, Super NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. How
do those hook up?
It got a little slot on the front. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance are all the same input. So
he's
a little slot in the front.
He stopped talking about the controllers halfway through that sentence.
Oh, okay.
Well, it doesn't have. I see what you're saying. It doesn't have a controller for the Game Boy stuff, but you can use any system's controller for any system that's on there. So as long as it's got enough buttons,
exactly.
Yeah,
Game Boy doesn't have a lot of buttons.
Original NES controller for the Game Boy. Specifically, I actually bought my first NES controller.
Wow.
Last week.
Nice.
For that specifically.
Dude, very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one that you've been playing and you can't say 6 golden coins?
But it's 6 golden coins.
All right, fine. Fair enough. Guys, thank you so much. This was the news wasn't as groundbreaking as the last 2 weeks, but I still had a lot of fun talking to you guys and with you guys about the news. And we have other videos that you should definitely watch. We have a bunch of first 15s up. We have the Katana Zero first 15, the Cadence of Hyrule, the Persona Q. We've got Crash Team Racing. And then later this week, we are going to have my friend Pedro, allegedly, maybe. And then also later this week, we are going to have that Sonic video that I was talking about last week, I think. I don't remember. But that is going to be a surprise as well, because that is going to be a new format. And it is the Does It Hold Up format. And I'm very excited to get that video out. I've been working hard on it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell. I know we say hit that subscribe button, but hit that notification bell, because that's when you know when we post a video and when we start these premieres for the PackCast episodes. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment after the fact, share with your friends, and that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Join our Discord.
Oh yeah, join the Discord. The link for that's in the description. Follow all of our individual channels. The links to those are in the description. Also, our social medias / websites and stuff are in the description. Check that as well. And that's all the plugs. Did I get it? Did I nail the plugs?
Plugged.
We did. Nailed it. We are plugged to completion. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great evening or day or whatever. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.